Are you super over all of your makeup? And a question that I get so often is like, how do you find inspiration for your makeup? I'm gonna tell you. So the first thing and the absolute worst thing that you can do for yourself is look at other people. Absolutely the worst possible thing you can do is to look at other people for inspiration. Now, if you're super over it and I'm talking like you got to be somewhere, you got to look a certain way and you're like my brain can't function, okay? I just need someone to show me how I should do my makeup and you just want to like use someone as a reference, that's completely fine, okay? But if you are interested in reconnecting with the like creativity and excitement that you get from like the prospects of new potential looks, then you don't want to do that. Don't look at other people. Don't do it. I swear to God, don't do it. You want to do the complete opposite of that. You want to look at anything else. Literally anything else. Anything else that is not makeup related, that's what you want to look at. Take this kitchen photo, for example. You might notice her. What? I happened upon this when I was scrolling on Pinterest, and I was just like, ooh, color palette, textures, gorge, okay? Can I tell you, the amount of hours that I've wasted scrolling on Pinterest, looking at other people's makeup, doesn't inspire me. I mean, don't get me wrong, like I can feel inspired by other people's artistry, but it doesn't make me feel like I'm doing the work. I don't feel like I am creating the thing if I'm looking at someone else, you know? One of the absolute best things you can do is look at anything else. Look at your clothing. Open up your closet. Take a walk through your wardrobe. What colors, what textures, what color schemes do you see, patterns? Maybe you have an outfit that you are super excited about. You are planning on going to some like event or party and you use that as your inspiration. Maybe, for example, you are wearing, you're just wearing something kind of like cute and chic, but basic. You're wearing like a white printed tee with like jeans, some black boots or loafers or something, but you have this really cool bag that you want to use that's like black with like white and almost neon yellow stripes on it. Use that. Maybe what you do is you take that yellow as a pop. Maybe you do a black winged liner. Maybe everything else in your makeup is like basically what you typically do, but you add like a bright neon yellow inner corner. Or you line the top of your black wing with a yellow or something to tie it back into the bag. So it's not like super overwhelming, but there's some cohesion there. Or maybe you play with primaries. Maybe because you're wearing blue jeans, you've got other neutrals on like the white top, but because there's that yellow that's existing in the bag, maybe you do a bright red lip. So you're playing with those primary colors. Look to anything else for inspiration. Maybe you open up a book about architecture throughout Europe. I don't know. Maybe you open up a book about fashion. That's a fantastic one. What was I looking at the other day? I was on Amazon and I was looking for books for like coffee table books for like inspiration. And I came across one that was like Alexandra McQueen. And luckily some of the people who had purchased it had put like photos in their reviews. And it was just like it was like an explosion of color and texture and just like incredible inspiration. Some of the most recent Paris Fashion Week looks have been incredible, not just the clothing, but the overall aesthetic. There was something, oh, I have to look. Who was it? This image of Rick Owens for spring 2024. Unbelievable. I mean, absolutely these beautiful like muted tones, but there's so much vibrance in it. The vibrance and the texture of not just the fabrics, but the architecture around it and the color. It's an unbelievable color palette. Like looking at that is a beautiful play on incorporating some soft colors into even a more neutral eye look, maybe. There's so many different ways to interpret that image by, you know, incorporating maybe those like soft, like pastel-y almost terracottas in your lip or your cheek, and then maybe just doing like a yellow all over the eyes. Or maybe you just take those terracottas with some of those more like muted yellows, things that are like a little bit more cream, like incorporating more creams. And then that's sort of like, I think that's, I can't tell if it's black because I'm looking at it from on a computer screen far away. Black or even like a deep, deep burgundy. Any of these things can be looked at as inspiration. A jungle, look at images of space, planets, galaxies, anything is going to be better than looking at someone else in exactly the way that they did their makeup. A great example of this that I did recently was this makeup look that I did that was inspired by this Balmain dress. And it was so much fun to just like interpret all of those shapes and patterns and colors and figure out how to make it work for my eye shape while working within like the limits of that color palette and the textures and everything. The reason that this is so effective is because you are pulling inspiration from something that is completely disconnected from whatever the world you are existing in. For example, I know that there are a lot of fashion designers who are inspired by nature, who are inspired by textures from terrains and also like water, movement of water, which makes sense. Fabric and water can work so beautifully together, or even architecture for like I'm thinking of Balmain is like such a structured, it's such an incredibly like structured style. I see so many parallels between like Balmain and a lot of architecture. I don't know, that's my interpretation. I don't know enough about like the background and what actual inspiration is. I think that people are constantly like pulling new inspirations for different collections, but I think that's a great example. Birds are great because they're often so incredibly colorful, and they have like fabric, and their feathers have this like incredible pattern, texture. Just look at a parrot, like the color combinations of a parrot. But you can go as simple as simply looking at like a room in your house. So keep an open mind anytime you see anything that sparks your interest. Whether it's like a bag, I don't know. I'm literally just naming things that are in my room. Plant, bag, painting. Take a photo of it and try to decipher what is it about this that I love. Is it the color palette? Is it the texture? Is it the way that the lights and the darks bounce off of the leaves on this plant? Whatever. Maybe it's just inspiring the way that you use contrasts. Looking outside of, makeup in general, looking outside of the people around you who might be doing their makeup a certain way, or social media, or people who you might follow, it allows you to interpret those things for yourself and create something new from them. And I'm going to say it removes that comparison factor, which can be so dampening. I know for me personally, so dampening on not just like self-confidence, but also creativity, my own self-creativity. Because rather than comparing whatever you're creating to some other person and feeling bad that you didn't create that, or feeling bad that you didn't aren't necessarily feeling creative at the moment, rather than doing that, you're focusing on something that is going to create a unique inspiration because you're the one interpreting it. It isn't being compared to something else that someone else is doing because that person did that thing. That has nothing to do with you, I would say for me personally, recently, some of my favorite ways to pull inspiration have been looking at clothing. I've been obsessed with looking at clothing. Lots of fashion designers, but also home interior design. I've been loving looking at different color swatches and color combinations for interior design. It's a visual art, interior design, that I really enjoy and appreciate, but I'm not particularly strong at, and I've been trying to learn more about. And all the while looking at these things, looking at these images and these color palettes and different textures of like fabrics and maybe wood furniture or whatever, different colors, all of it, has really informed the way that I have been thinking about my makeup. Another thing you can do is challenge yourself to use something that you typically don't. Maybe it's a color that you typically don't use. Maybe it's a product that you just don't really use very often, but you bought it because you thought you would like to use it. Challenge yourself to make that the focus. Maybe you never wear blue eyeshadow and maybe blue really intimidates you. You could start it off with just like very small amounts if you are afraid to like go all in by placing like that colorful blue in your waterline or just in the inner corner of your eye, or maybe doing a colorful wing liner. And then next time you can push yourself to go even further. And maybe next time you do like a midnight blue smoky eye with that same, like, I don't know, cerulean blue in your waterline or inner corner. Force yourself to do things that you typically wouldn't do. All right, guys, so obviously we got real artistic up in here. This is the finished look that I created with the kitchen inspiration, which I've been meaning to do for a while. I pulled some like aspects of the actual like pieces in the kitchen, and also obviously color palette. We went a little alien vibes, I think, alien vibes. Obviously you don't need to take it like this artistic. You don't need to be painting on your face if you're someone who isn't into that kind of thing. But if you've just been feeling like in a rut with your makeup, whether it's just your lip products or your eyeshadow palette recently, I hope these tips helped to kind of like help to push you outside of your comfort zone or give you like a little bit of inspo so you're not just doing the same thing over and over again or feeling like you're just creating what other people are doing constantly, you know? Which is my problem, I feel, a lot of the time. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and comment down below because it helps me out. Okay? If you don't want to, don't, I suppose. And please let me know if there are any other like videos along these lines that you would be interested in, topics that happen to come to the top of your mind. Or if there's like something that you are struggling to, I don't know, reconcile with when it comes to makeup. Anything could be abstract, I don't care. Let me know. Or if there are any inspiration ideas that you have for me, I would love that. So yeah, hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Just fluttery fingers. Bye. I wish I were going to like an event or something because this is like, it's kind of fun. It looks like almost like an eyeball. This could be fun for Halloween. Vibes.